What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of Buckets of Duckets. I am your host, Chase Myers, out here in Seattle, Washington. Down there in Louisiana is my co-host, the one, Josh Watts.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is episode 29, which is 15 more than 14, which would be an uneven fraction and would get you failed in high school. Listen to this podcast. Every episode, you learn shit that helps you graduate and become a functioning member of this society.
No child left behind. That is Buckets of Duckets policy, okay? We're making sure that all of you move on and have a bright future, okay?
Buckets of Duckets is the new Secretary of Education under President Biden. It's both of us.
And we're going to continue to cut funding. We are filling our pockets, okay? All right, I'm giving all.
Noticing some big upgrades on the podcast.
I'm just giving all the teachers guns, and we're upgrading, bro. I'm giving them guns and say you figure it out, okay?
Good.
But we're opening a real network. All right. I'm gonna get Joe Rogan a show on Buckets of Duckets. I'm gonna bring him in. Guys, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you may be listening to this on YouTube. What's up, guys? Look how pretty we look. Go ahead and subscribe here as well. Leave a comment. Thank y'all so much, man. Things have been going really well on the YouTube side of it lately, and we don't want to go without saying we appreciate that. Josh, buddy, we've had some pre-show meetings. And, you've gone over like things that's happening in your life. And from what I understand, you have a neighbor story of all neighbor stories that you have prepped me with. You're not going to it's not going to sound real was like literally what you told me. And that's a lot coming from your weird ass neighborhood. I can't imagine what this is going to be.
I'm kicking my Crocs off. We're about to get in it, ladies and gentlemen. I want this. It's time to get real.
He's
Kick the
getting
Crocs off. Let's get down. Let's get down to it, ladies and gentlemen.
Grabbing the carpet with his toes. Josh is digging in.
I got to get in there. I want to preface this story by saying if someone told me this story, I also would not believe it for a second. But I swear on all of my Hulk Hogan and Superman action figures that this is a true account of what happened in my neighborhood. I've learned how to fill pre-rolled cones with.
It's a very difficult skill. It takes a lot to learn how to do that. So big ups to you.
Yeah. I used my GI Bill, went back to school, and learned how to fill up pre-rolled cones with my materials. And I was smoking in my backyard. God damn it. My neighbor got a drone and came to my fucking house with a picture. A picture. All right. My neighbor got a drone.
Wait, which neighbor? Is this the same neighbor you've had beef? Have we talked about this neighbor?
The one that comes down with the spotlight. The one that walks down the street with the spotlight.
So this is not the "Do you smell dope" guy?
No. Oh no!
I can't believe that's two different people.
There's two different people. One of the dudes. Now this guy.
How is that not the same person? How do you have two of these lunatics running around your neighborhood? All right, spotlight guy.
This guy has walked up and down the street with a spotlight before. I've talked about him on here because I've been smoking outside, or a golf cart drove by too fast, or children were having fun, or you heard laughter or something. And all right, just to give you an example of what kind of person this dude is, he has a front view and a rear view camera in his car, and he posts in the group if people tail him too close.
No,
like video of their car, and he's like, "I'll turn you into the police," or if they run stop signs, he says he forwards all the videos to the police, which I'm sure the cops loved.
It goes straight to their junk folder. It doesn't. There's no way they flagged that dude. None of that shit's being read. Are you kidding me?
His house.
Quick, dispatch everybody to the stop sign.
Get that motherfucker. We got one of them tanks. Get one of them tanks. We got those taser shields. Get them. These Antifa sons of bitches are running stop signs now.
It's a good day to die, boys. Let's go get them.
It's a good day to meet our God. So this dude, I've talked about how there's creeks, ponds in the back of the neighborhood where I like to walk the dogs and stuff.
Right.
I've started meditating, trying to meditate, and there's a spot out there in the woods where I don't know. There's a spot out in the woods where I go sit
Can I
down.
ask you something about that? Do you have a mantra when you meditate?
I hum just a sound. I don't say anything. I just try to hum a little bit, like very, very soft. And I do it in the woods because it's very quiet and peaceful, and I feel ridiculous doing it. But dude, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of that I feel really good afterwards.
Part of me expected your mantra to be some kind of pro wrestling promo or some kind of deep
cash,
breath.
Checks, snap,
Yeah. I kind of have a vision of you just out in the field going, fuck you ain't shit nobodies. Fuck you ain't shit nobodies. Fuck you ain't shit nobodies. I feel great, man.
Dude, I'm ready to return to the world. So this neighbor,
you're
his
not
backyard,
better than me. All right, my bad.
His backyard faces right where I enter. So to get to the ponds, I cut in between two of my neighbors' houses. I've asked them both, do you mind if I cut across here with my dogs to get to the creeks? And both of them told me it's fine. He's a couple doors down, but I'm trying to explain. So I have to pass his backyard to get to the creeks, but it's already kind of in the woods.
Okay.
So
his backyard lines the woods.
Yeah, he has to have a low fence because it faces the ponds.
Okay.
And it faces the long straightaway where as soon as I get on, I light one of those pre-filled cones immediately when I'm walking my dogs or going to meditate and be with Jesus or whatever it is I do.
It's one of those two things.
So
it's either dogs or Jesus.
I'm walking back with my dog, and this dude comes up.
Jesus in your heart.
This dude comes up to his fence with a printed out picture.
No.
Of me.
No.
Walking my dog with something in my mouth, but it's a drone photo, so it's like you can't tell what it is. You couldn't tell what it is, but he shows me this picture and he says, I'm gonna take this to the cops. And there's all right, I could have reacted multiple ways. My normal reaction would be to punch him in his mouth and just be furious that he would even talk to me or try to confront me in any way whatsoever. That's normally what should happen.
I'm glad you didn't, though, because we need to explore this guy. Because, oh boy, walk me through it. Walk me through who the fuck you think you are. That first off, like, I just love that he thinks that any of these pictures are gonna make anything happen. Like, as if he's gonna hand this picture in and the cops are gonna go, like, he's gonna get a medal of like
they're
for
gonna
helping
get in that
the
fucking
community.
Tank and come down and get me.
Yeah, they're gonna come take you away because one time maybe you were walking around in the woods with a joint. I guess, like, maybe that's what that is.
It could be a cigarette. It could be a stick. It could be anything from that height. And if it was a zoomed in, super HD 4K photo of me with a joint in my mouth,
enhanced,
the cops will not give a flying. I can promise you, they're gonna go, "Oh, weird dude was smoking a joint in the woods. Yeah, let's get everybody, and let's get the tanks, and let's go kill them. Let's go.
We gotta protect the woods. We
gotta get them.
He's
children.
He's ruining the woods.
I have children who love squirrels. That son of a bitch is after everything I love." So
getting the squirrels all high, this man
out there in the woods where nobody can see or hear him, and he's not bothering another soul except those squirrels. They got souls.
Who's gonna take up for the squirrels?
I'll tell you who. Me. He shows me this picture, and man, so many things go through my brain. I want to be furious, and of course, my instinct is I want to hit him. I don't like this dude in any way, shape, or form at all, anyway, anyhow. So I want to hit him immediately, but I don't. And I look at the picture closer, and I decide I'm trying to take a new stance on life. I'm doing some meditating. I'm trying to be less confrontational. trying to be a little more peaceful. I'm trying to be more. I'm trying. I'm realizing. I'm trying to realize how small I am in the world, and that not everything I do is like a world altering thing. So it doesn't fucking matter. You know,
Get out of
like
here, hippie.
I'm
A
the head movie
fucking
star of
tie-dye
my
tank up here talking to me about the world and my
Well, I mean,
place in it. No, dude, when I move, fucking fucking the earth moves too. All right, bro? I'm the center right here, baby.
what in my mind though, I could punch this dude, or like, what does it matter? I'm gonna let's see what this is about.
Yeah, I do
So
appreciate that take. That is it. Let's get
I
in there.
leaned in real close and I said, I don't have my glasses on because I didn't. And I leaned in real close and I looked at it and I said, what is that? And he looked, he goes, it's you. And I leaned in, I said, are you sure? And I'm not shitting you. He goes, yes, it's you. And it goes, it's you back there smoking. You think we can't smell it? And I said, smell what? And he goes, you know.
Dude, I just can't believe so many people in your neighborhood have a problem. Like, with smelling weed.
Two.
Yeah. Two very loud people. Also, you should have been like, oh, thanks, man. I'm going to use this picture to show how you harass me when I'm walking my dog. This is a perfect, I can totally show the cops that you won't mind your goddamn business because you followed me with the drone.
Right. Good. Look. They don't know. They're not going to, nobody's going to give a fuck that a weird dude is in the woods smoking, maybe smoking a joint. They will not fucking care. Promise.
That's what the woods are for.
He thinks that they're going to come and like repossess my house and like.
Your life's over, dude.
So he's like, he says, now look, we can be friendly neighbors and I don't want no trouble, but I don't ever want to see this again. And I said, I don't think we can be. and if you don't ever want to see that again, don't fly your fucking drone over people walking through the woods. And then he said, so you knew what you were doing was wrong.
No.
And I said, look, if I drive you to the police station to drop this photo off, can you stop lecturing me so I can go back to my house? And he goes, you think I won't turn this in? I said, I hope you do, I guess. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen if you do? And he goes, you know, marijuana is illegal in Louisiana. And I couldn't help it. I said, no, it's not.
You dork.
And he goes, yes, it is. Not even medicinal is allowed here. And I said, nah, I don't think so. And then he said, no, I know I work investigations for the Navy. And he started going on about how he knows it's illegal. And he started talking about where it's medicinal and where, like, really kind of in depth. And I was like, man, you know a lot about weed. And then he said, look, I'll make a deal with you. And I decided then that I wanted to walk away.
Yeah.
So I just turned around and walked away while he's talking about making a deal with me. And I'm trying to be a peaceful man, but I'm still me. So as I turned around, I lit another joint and walked past his backyard. Because fuck you.
Dude.
So I have a blowgun now. If I ever see his drone again, I'm taking it out. I'm taking it out. I swear to God. I swear to God, I'm taking it out. Don't tell the cops that I took it.
Here's my take on him and the other neighbor is that they're probably the most fucked up people in the neighborhood. People who try to like rat on other people for such small stuff and are like these like neighborhood watch trying to keep all the rules stuff. Like if you went through his laptop, he's going to jail. I guarantee you that's what happened. Like that, all those loud people like that. I'll get like he's got some dark past. I promise you something's not right about people who act like that.
He's one of those big hairless Uncle Fester looking motherfuckers.
Bro,
like,
he's got some creepy shit.
It's like, why are you hairless? Because you cover yourself in Vaseline and slide through air ducts at high school gymnasiums to peek at them little girls in the locker rooms? That's what it is.
Huh?
I fucking know it. I'll get a drone picture of that, you son of a bitch.
You let the lotion hit the skin?
What a weird fucking thing to do, though. First off, to fly a drone over the woods and take a picture of somebody walking their dogs back there. What did you hope to see? I mean, I know what he hoped to see, and I guess he got it. I don't know. The cops haven't repossessed my house or killed my family yet, so
it's coming, man. It's one
this
day
might be
soon.
the last transmission. This might be my Anne Frank up here, just hiding away in my basement. And my next episode of the podcast is gonna be my will and testament. It's gonna look like the Blair Witch Project, just right in my face. And I leave all my action figures to Chase, and my weed can go to Chase. I just give it all to Chase, I guess. I mean,
I'm so scared. I didn't think I was hurting anybody. Yeah, dude. Just I can't tell you my whole life how much I've not wanted to talk to one of my neighbors ever. Like I have never cared. Like it didn't matter. You could be the loudest neighbor of all time. I would never go say anything to you. I would just complain about you in my house, and that's it. But like, dude, I'm wondering how long he was tracking you. Like, did he go? Like, do you walk at the same time most of the time, or is that kind of like, I'm just wondering when he saw you, whenever he was like, let me get my drone and go out, like, and
well,
now
here's the thing about them. Since they've moved into the neighborhood, him and his wife are like, Michelle and I have stopped walking around the neighborhood in the evenings down towards where they live, because this guy and his wife, if they see you, every time somebody walks by, they happen to see you and come outside and then try to be your best friend. Like they want to be friends with people, and fuck that, dude. Nah, man. Just you live down there and I'll live over here.
They're swinging, bro. There's something weird going on in that house. There's something.
I'm gonna tell you right now, dude.
Not right.
If that Uncle Fester motherfucker wants to get a piece of my Michelle, he's got to bring something way better to the table than that fucking thing he's got down there, dude. I can't stand his fucking wife. Woo, I hate her, dude. God damn it, I hate her. I gave her. All right, I messed up one time when she first moved into the neighborhood. Oh, dude, this. I didn't want to get into this. All right, when she first moved into the neighborhood, I offered, hey, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm new. It sucks moving to a new place in a new neighborhood and not know anything and not know anybody. So, like, I'm not saying let's be best friends, but like, hey, if you need to know if you can have a fence in your backyard without asking, come talk to me. Whatever. Just trying to be civil. And she, somehow we exchanged phone numbers because there was like an emergency coming, or might be, and she wanted a phone number, something. Somehow she convinced me to give her my phone number. And dude, she would text me in the middle of the day and be like, hey, my Ring camera just showed that somebody's in my front yard. Do you see anything?
Now they're probably just walking by because it's a neighborhood with a bunch of people live here.
I live 4 or 5 houses. Do you want me to stop? I'll stop raising my 2 children and walk out of the house and just leave them here and walk all the way down the street to see if somebody walked by your fucking house.
Like, yeah, I think you got all the evidence you need on your Ring camera that saw. I think someone was probably walking in front of your house if you saw
the Ring camera has a camera, right? It has a fucking camera that you could see. And then
like a video one, right? Like, yeah, okay.
And I would not respond. And then, like, one day a construction worker was working on the house next to hers, and she texted me, hey, there's a white truck parked in front of our house with a question mark. I don't fucking know. I'm not answering. Go look. You got a Ring camera? Got a camera on it. Zoom in. You dumb bitch. Zoom in. Stop fucking texting me.
Enhance.
And she just kept. And then one day it was, hey, we're waiting on a very important Amazon package. It says it was delivered. Will you walk down and see? And then I blocked her number.
This is over.
Yeah, dude. That was over. Privileges revoked. Friendship privileges are out the window now, dude. We are enemies, and that's it.
You are a habitual line stepper, lady. Okay, this is.
And her husband
too far.
Her husband has tried to be friendly with me a couple of times, and
before he was showing you pictures of you walking in.
Before he knew I was a dope head, bringing the neighborhood down. Bro, fuck you. I'm 40 years old and at home every day with two loud ass kids. You goddamn right I'm high. Fuck you. You want to take my joint? Why don't you come over here and peel it out of my cold, dead, patriotic fingers? You motherfucker. ISIS in Afghanistan couldn't bring me down. You think your fat ass is going to Uncle Fester? Come on down here, bro. Come on. Come on and get you some. I'll bring you a little bit of law and order, motherfucker. I want to fight him. I'll fight him right now. I hope he sees this episode.
I just watched you talk yourself into it. I just in real time watched you get more and more worked up. I was about to jump in, and I literally was like, "Stop! Let him go. Just let him go. See what happens." Let him. And of course, it ended with you going, "I'm gonna fight that motherfucker." That's what happens now.
In the span of that window, dude, I went from like, I'm just gonna laugh at him to, nah, dude, he's got to be fucking stomped out, dude.
He's got to be dealt with. Okay,
that was too much disrespect.
Too much. A picture of me. I'll take a picture of you.
I'll take a picture of your cold dead corpse, motherfucker. I have one other.
Go.
I've had one other good, but I want to keep talking about this for another minute because now now that I've retold the story, I'm way more angry than I was when it actually happened to me.
That's what happens sometimes. Saying it out loud, yeah.
I'm gonna go down and knock on his front door.
Slap him in the face.
Second we're done, I'm gonna slap that motherfucker across his mouth, dude. Jesus Christ! I'm so fucking mad now. I'm like. I was like, this is a funny story. I can't wait to tell you. It happened a week ago. And now I'm like, nah!
Oh, dude. Okay, hold on. Let me relieve you a little bit with the crazy. So, fuck. I wasn't going to say this either. So, my whole life, I've been loved. Everyone universally likes me. I've never really ran into a lot of, if people don't like me, they don't tell me. I don't create that, like, I fucking hate, I hate chase reaction. That's not a thing. Except for this one fucking girl that I work with. This one girl, like for 2 years, just hates my guts. Like the rest of my coworkers, like made me that big sign and all the stuff. I noticed her name wasn't on it. She doesn't like that I talk so much at work, but like, yo, it's too fucking bad. People pay to hear me talk. All right, I'm not gonna shut up at work.
Like, you're getting it for free.
That's crazy. Okay, like I record me and my best friend's conversations every week and put it out for the world. You think of my day-to-day life, I'm not telling every person that makes eye contact with me what my feelings are, and so
young, old,
in her 20s, like in her late 20s. It doesn't make sense. And,
it does. That's what. Nope.
And a couple of times she is like, and so Friday, there was just like a moment where I was like by her desk and somebody asked me a question and I answered it. It was work related, but then, made a couple of jokes. And then she just had like a big, get away from this like space thing. And I just went into like, you need to take.
Wait, she said that out loud?
Yes. This happens every 6 weeks. There'll be a moment where she'll, like, a friend of mine was like sick and it's her roommate, right? And she was sick for a couple of days. She came back and I was like, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? And this girl, the girl that doesn't like me, came flying around the corner and went, she doesn't want to talk to anybody right now because she's sick. I'm sorry, but you just need to walk. Like, that's what she did. And so I have over and over again been like, you're so miserable. You are, it doesn't make any sense. You tell
it to her face?
Yes. No,
good.
Friday, she goes to get away from my area and I go, take a breath. Would you please take a breath for once in your life? And then she's like, all you do is talk. And I was like, in what way does it matter? My job is done. So what? I finished what I need to do. I'm not doing whatever. Like, don't act like I don't walk around here doing my job. She walks away laughing. That's it, right? And so that was the end of our conversation. And this is what normally happens. That'll happen. And then Monday when I go into work, I'll go, hey, what's up? She'll go, hey, what's up? And then we do that for 6 weeks until we have that exact moment again. Like, that's our cycle. But, dude, I have spent this whole weekend thinking about her. I have spent the entire weekend, every time I've had a moment, I've gone like, who is the person that walks around work telling people to be quiet? If I was needing to be quiet, my boss would have told me to be quiet. There's bosses all over. Nobody's my coworker, like, that's who you wanted to be.
My Lord and Savior didn't tell me to be quiet.
My Lord and Savior said, speak it. He said, use your gifts. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go out here and use my gifts in the world. And it's like, you grew up as as a person and was like, I'm gonna be the person telling people to be quiet at work. Like, what is that? What type of person is that? And it is truly like just consumed me all weekend, bro. Like I spent the
You think
entire.
she listens? You think she's listening?
I don't know. She hates me so much. It's so
That's why she
weird to
doesn't
me.
like you, though. She listens to podcasts and she don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah, I guess, dude. I don't know how to process it. Like I have never really had somebody that just truly just fundamentally doesn't like me. And so like, and it's hard for me. Like the way that I want to handle that is I want to talk to her about it. I want to go. I want to walk up and read my resume, my great guy resume. I want to go. Hey,
hold on now, listen
wait. I drove my friend to the airport. I help out people at work. I walked this old lady across the street.
I refuse to say the N-word in the butler. So.
I didn't do it. They were offering to pay me more money to say a slur
And
in a movie. I said, not me. And I did that. Okay, that's a real thing I did. You can go see the movie. By the way, people listen to this podcast. I know that sounds like a bit. It's a real thing. I was in the butler. I was a cop. I'm in it for all of 5 seconds.
This is the funniest thing.
It's not a. I didn't understand the role. I guess I'll just tell that story. I didn't understand the role whenever it was for a little while in New Orleans. New Orleans was like a Hollywood South. There was like a run where they had a lot of studios down here, and for like a year or two, I was just an extra in every movie. You get paid $100 a day, whatever. You get to hang around with delusional actors, dude. Extras are like I thought comics were delusional, bro.
Dubstep.
Like at least comics are like most of us are like gross looking weirdos who like hate ourselves
Not
and
us.
Stuff like that. Not us. We're the opposite
Some of y'all
of
gross
that.
motherfuckers.
But
though.
some of you gross motherfuckers with all you just
It's the alpha wolf pack.
woo and and so one solid woo and. But that's not how actors are. They're all beautiful. And so like even their like extras are like that's their open mic. You know what I'm saying? And so you're just looking at every one of them thinks they're the prettiest, perfect person. And I'm going in there with comic energy. So I just hated it. I hated it so much. But The Butler, it's Lee Daniels' movie. That's the dude that directed Precious.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, great movie. The Butler's a great movie. Forrest Whitaker's in it. It's about him being the butler for the presidents, for like 7 different presidents. I get an email asking me to come in to audition for Angry Teen. And so I was like, oh, cool. I guess I can still play a teenager. This was like, I was like 25 at the time, 26 maybe. And it turns out, no, the scene is Angry Teens. But what they thought I looked like was a cop, which... disrespect, fuck all of you,
You
okay?
motherfuckers.
They brought me in just to call me a pig to my face.
You ain't shit nobody.
And so the nerve of all of them.
I have a family.
I didn't have a beard at the time. I had really short hair. I could understand how they would look at me and go 1950s, this is a cop. But I never even understood what the scene was. They just lined up 20 people, looked at us, went, you 3 look look most like cops. You got it. And so then that was like it. That was the audition. And so the scene is 1957 or maybe 59 in Tennessee. Obviously it's all the fucking like segregation stuff going on, and the Freedom Riders are protesting. They're sitting in all white section of this cafe, and the cops come in after a big brawl ensues where white people start bullying black people, and the cop, your boy, comes in, arrests all the black people. Not a good look. Dog. Not what I thought I was getting into. Kind of didn't know that I was going to be putting Forrest Whitaker's son.
Not the legacy you want to leave in the Smithsonian.
In a paddy wagon and stuff. But yeah, we had an option if we wanted to go to a speaking role where we could have been yelling some slurs. And I said, no, I will not be a part of that. I will not have my first words on camera be horrific hate. Like that is not what I'm going to do. And so I didn't do it. I'm still in the scene. But I made a little stand. I said, I don't care what you've directed, Lee Daniels. No, no, I am a man of honor and I will not sink to such
level. I love the way you
level.
justified it at the time. You were like, this might be the last the first and only movie role I ever do, and I'll be
I haven't
damned if
done.
it's gonna be me yelling slurs at
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. So far, it's true. I haven't had like a big thing. I mean, I don't audition for movies much, but like, I haven't had a big thing since then. So that very much could have been
That's so fucking
over the
funny.
last 6 or 7 years. That's the piece of tape of me out there. I will not. No, I will
You
not.
did it as a bit, and you said they asked somebody else in the room if they wanted.
He did
to,
it.
and you said the bartender just jumped up, started shaving his head. Was like, "I'll do it." He just jumped up, started shaving his head. Said, "I've been waiting."
He went skinhead the whole time. Yeah, the joke was, I've been saying that for free my whole life. It's time to cash in. Yeah, that dude got into it through. He threw coffee in somebody's face. I don't even think you're supposed to do that. I think he just, I think it was just his little racial wonderland right there. Where he just got
overselling.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah. So, yeah, that was it. I did a show last night. So I told you last week.
Live?
Let me get through it. So I told you just sit back. All right.
Now look. Now look.
Just for your own good. Just hold on. All right.
Now look.
I just don't want to be responsible. I just don't want to be responsible. Taking shots at you. Just hold on.
Right.
I just a little defensive. You know what I'm saying? So, despite what Donald Trump Jr. would believe, COVID didn't go away, and he knows that 1,000%
He knows it now.
Yeah, he knows that for sure.
He's been dead for 3 days, bro. They don't want you to know that. That's
don't.
what the liberal media. They don't want you to know. He's been dead 3 days. They replaced him with a body double.
That's a Buckets of Duckets exclusive right there.
There you go.
So we got new restrictions in Washington, right? And so my little comedy class that I was going to teach last week, that I was all conflicted about, but I love that money and was going to do it. That's canceled. Can't do it. It's not a thing. Makes sense. So they closed down all restaurants as far as dining in. You got to do takeout now. If you leave for like Thanksgiving, you leave the state, your job is supposed to make you quarantine for 2 weeks before you can come back. So that's really eliminating people traveling. You can't have more than like 5 people in a room or something like that. Like, these are all the rules.
Oh, dude, one of my neighbors had a birthday party for the little girl. And the second, like, they had 5 people in the living room, and then a couple came in, and the second they stepped in the room, everybody was dead.
Yep.
6 and 7 walked in the room, boom, COVID, everybody.
It can happen to any of us.
COVID chopped their heads off. Just chopped everybody's heads clean off.
Dude, COVID's ruthless, bro. COVID.
They ain't fucking around anymore, dude. Just straight chop their heads off.
COVID was like, these are the rules, guys. We told you, 5 in a room, and you just want to keep testing. All right.
I want to keep playing, huh?
COVID is like, COVID's tired. COVID's tired at this point. COVID's like, y'all was supposed to handle me 6 months ago. All right. I wasn't supposed to be working this hard. But if y'all going to keep me around for years and years, I'm going to start I'm just chopping heads off until y'all take this seriously. Okay.
You coughing up your assholes ain't doing it. So I'm just going to start chopping your heads off.
Heads got to roll. Okay. That's what happens next. So my class gets canceled, which is actually good because I, as I said last week, I was conflicted on it. So that's no longer an option. So I was telling you last week about Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club.
Right.
And it was an online show.
Great.
This is a great name. This is a fantastic time. And they told me, like, I thought, you know, it's an online show, so I'm thinking a Zoom show, and they were like, yeah, show's at 8, check in at 7. So around like 6:45, I start setting up like the same podcast setup that we have now, and I start realizing, like, man, they haven't sent a link or anything like that, and then I start reading back over the messages, and I'm like, oh shit, is this at the club? And so I text them like at 7 o'clock when I'm supposed to check in, and I was like, bruh, am I supposed to be at the club? And they're like, yep. And so I fucking yeah. So go ahead. You got. Yeah, I see your confusion.
How is it at the club if it's virtual?
So we performed on the stage at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club. Like, dude, it was so professional. It was crazy. It was too much. It was too
really?
much. Yeah.
Oh,
so
right.
no, it was nice, but it's so whenever I was talking last week about whenever I auditioned at that club, that you know, it was at the end of February, beginning of March, and it was the whole, like, the club was supposed to open in the next month, and he was like, oh, we're going to push it back a couple weeks until COVID's over, and that was
Yep.
that was
So COVID's over.
that was 12 years ago, right? And so whenever I looked at it then, the club wasn't finished, but he's finished it because he's had plenty of time to do that over these last 12 years. And so yeah, so the club was set up all nice. They had like 5 comics come, camera set up, so it was like a crew, and we performed live on the stage, which at first, like, when the pandemic started, if somebody would have offered me that, I'd be like, no fucking way, dude. I'm not doing that. Like, that sounds ridiculous. But like, I am so much just wanting to get on stage. Like, it actually felt amazing. Like, just to be on a nice stage in the room. And it was funny because it was just the other 4 or 5 comics, and then it was like 3 people that were like working the cameras and the lighting, and like somebody was taking pictures. So it was like 8 people in there. And I got.
It's not 5, bro.
I know. I could get this whole thing shut down now. I'm hoping that the whole crew, they just live together. They're one household.
Probably.
That's part of it. Probably that's what it is.
Probably.
If I had to guess.
If any cops are listening.
A bunch of pigs. So yeah, dude, it was actually really cool, man. So I went up on stage, and I just kind of. We've been talking about like how you do sets now, and I just riff, dude. One thing that this podcast has like really helped me with is getting over that whole needing to know exactly like what my bits are and all this stuff. Like, I've always been real like that. But the reaction we've been getting from these podcasts and all these crazy stories we've been telling every week has made me go like, oh, I guess even if I'm just kind of floundering and just kind of talking it out, I could still get to something funny. And so like, I kind of just told stories that we've talked about. Like, I told the Chewbacca, the Jabba the Hutt costume story. I talked about doing Coos Bay and how much I hated it and Comedy Purgatory and stuff. Like, I really, like, and what was funny was I was getting, like, I made the crew laugh and comics were laughing, and I was like, this feels awesome. Like, it was like 8 people in there. I was like, this feels fucking amazing.
That's like the shows we grew up in comedy doing with 7 or 8 people there anyway.
It was so funny. I actually felt better. Like, I got a better high off of doing that show in front of 8 people and whoever was watching on Facebook Live than I did performing in Coos Bay, where there was like 30 people in the crowd, just because like those 30 people weren't as good as the 8 people in that, like, that just the elements were perfect in the club. Like, it just looked nice. They took a dope picture of me on stage, which was funny to me. like I can't share this. I'm going to jail. I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be on the show. I didn't promote. Once I found out that it was on stage, I didn't promote it because it didn't seem like something we could be doing. But I mean, we all wore masks like while we were in the crowd, and we were all spread out and stuff. But
were you worried about using the same microphone?
They, in between acts, they wiped it down. Like, the host used a different mic than everybody else. One of the people working the cameras in between would come up, wipe everything down. Once I was done, here's your next comic. Dude, it felt great. It felt really good.
I think I gotta go do stand up before the year's out. I think we're gonna go into lockdown again soon. But
it's about to come, dude. Winter's here. Like, things are about to start getting shut down. Like, we haven't experienced what this is about to be with the pandemic. Is everybody having their immune system weakened because this is the time that you normally get sick, and now dealing with a pandemic, plus everybody traveling, wanting to travel for the holidays. Like, what that's gonna do. So like, yeah, it's not going away. Turns out when you do nothing about it for 9 months, it doesn't go away.
Right. My kids are both like real runny noses and sore throat today. And so immediately I'm like, oh, fuck. It's COVID. But, they're kids, so they're just snotty. And just them having the snot and the cold made me think, hold off.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I get that. Nobody's going to hold it against you not performing in 2020. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a goal and it's something something I've put in my own head. Like, it's not a
real thing. Nobody's holding you.
Yeah, it's not a real thing. I can still do comedy.
Nobody's gonna be like, I'm so disappointed in Josh Watts for.
They're not gonna never book me again because I didn't go up for a year.
Yeah,
some of you fucking ain't shit hacks go away for 4 years and come back for 6 months talking about I'm taking comedy serious now. It's for real. I'm for real this time, bitches. And then y'all fucking bounce out after 2 open mics when you don't kill. You know who I'm talking about, Tyler Futrell. I know you listen to this. Anyway.
That dude. You want to go
Every
into
six-
let's you want to go into weird open micers? I enjoy our weird open mic segments. So that dude, we don't have to say his name again. Just one time. So
fuck you. I hope I know he's listening to this, and fuck you. I hope you're watching. Fuck you, Tyler. Fuck you.
There's a type of comic me and Josh always make fun of. There's a lot of these in Louisiana. I guess just because the scene's so small, but it's dudes that perform, for 3 weeks and then disappear for 8 months, and then the whole 8 months they spend that 8 months texting other comics and going, man, I'm ready to get back.
I'm coming back strong.
I'm excited, boy. When I come back, I'm coming back. Get my HBO special, baby. It's time.
I'm taking it for real this time.
It's my time. And they just do, and then they come back, and then they perform for 3 weeks, and then it all starts over again. It's the same, like
because they think, oh, I'm going to come back for 3 weeks, and then I'm going to be booked a headline on everything and a feature on everything, and they haven't done comedy in a year, so they're not good at it. And so they don't get booked, and they're like, and then they drift away. But that one particular motherfucker, Tyler, for the 10 years I've done comedy, every year for like 2 months, I get, hey, dog, for real this time, man, I'm thinking about coming back to the mics. I'm being for real about it. You were always one of my favorite comics, and I'm going to take it for real this time. I've got this lined up and this, and I know this production company, and fuck you. You're full of shit. And then one day I just told him to stop messing me about it because I don't just stop. I don't care.
I'll see you at the mic. I'll see you at a show, and then we can talk about what you're gonna do in your career whenever we're actually performing. But like, this is just silly. Why are you messaging me?
Right. And then on top of that, he said some real shitty stuff online to one of my favorite people in the world. We don't need to go into that one. But fuck you, Tyler. If I ever see you, I'm gonna break your fucking jaw. Anyway, you probably can't put that on YouTube. Is that a threat? They'll take our ads away.
It's satire, man. It's all satire.
It's satire.
We're poking.
I'll jokingly break your jaw, you fucking twat.
That's what somebody who thinks that way would do. Ha ha! Can you imagine?
Not me. I'm playing a character.
It's all
the character
jokes.
That I am wants to stomp your stupid ass into the mud.
As a bit.
Figuratively, the character wants to rip your heart out and butt fuck it. But me, I support your right to be a twat and live free, roll free, be a free range cunt and just run around the world. I pray for you every day, you fucking asshole.
Oh, I hope he gets to
I
spread
hate him
his wings.
so much, dude. God damn it, I hate that dude so much. You know why? You know why I hate him so much, and he doesn't even remember it. He did a set at Boudreaux and Thibodeau's when I first started.
Listen to that venue name, people. People not from
Boudreaux
Louisiana. Listen to that.
Thibodeau's. He did a set there when I first started, and he did. I don't remember, but it was like I was new enough that just because it was a formed joke, I was like, oh, he's good at comedy. Not that it was funny or not, just that it wasn't just rambling. Like, oh, that's a joke, so he must be good at it.
Yeah.
I was still like, didn't take the mic out of the stand and would look at the ground while I talked and hold my note up and read it. And I walked up to him and I said, oh man, you had a great set. Cause he seemed like somebody who had been around for a long time. And he goes, I don't talk to people after my set.
After the set, you don't talk to people.
And even then I was like, well, why not? It would be before, right? Like, why is it after? And also, fuck you. You're not, fuck you. Yo, fuck.
So what you about to do? You just gonna sit there? So now what?
He was smoking a cigarette outside. He was smoking a cigarette. But then I'm going to be weird about it, dude. You're not going to make me feel weird. So I just stood there. Because he said he didn't talk. So I just fucking stood right beside him. Just right there. Just to be weird about it. I hate those kind of comics, dude. I fucking hate them. Just show up and do it. Stop telling me what you're going to do. Just fucking do it. Try to be funny first. Be funny before you plan out your fucking sitcom.
I've had moments of doubt during the pandemic about that because I spent all this time putting together a really good live show and not that much time on an internet presence, and then now, who gives a fuck if you can actually do stand-up comedy live? That's not a thing. It's not something that anybody's going to do. So part of me is like, man, should I have just been an asshole this whole time and talking about how I was the greatest and try to get a bunch of followers for fake stuff? I should have. I mean, even now, I didn't promote the show that I was on yesterday. Even that, like, I'm doing shows, and I still didn't promote it. Like,
I mean, there are weeks where we forget to plug this. We're like, oh, I forgot to share the new episode. And you're like, nah, we'll do it next week.
nah,
They'll fucking find
I don't want to bother everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bother them. Just let them come to it naturally. Remember our buddy Evan that he would start an open mic and then he'd be like, I'm not going to promote it. I want it to be one of them cool things that people just find out about and show up to. I'm like, how are they going to find out about it, bro? Like, if you don't tell anybody.
That's why they always only lasted 3 weeks.
It was so hard for us to start shows in Louisiana back then because like we had so much heart, all of us, but none of us were really good enough comics to actually host weekly and have other comics come. Like we all had enough material to do 2-3 weeks. And then after that, it was hard. It was hard to keep people. Like you would see that with comics would have start shows, have all their best friends come out for 2 weeks, and then they'd be like,
man.
On week 3, they'd be like, yeah, we've heard all that, though. We've seen every comic you have to offer in the state. So,
yep. In
think we're good
Baton Rouge,
here?
when they would start an open mic, you better go the first week or two because that's when the host has all their friends and family come out. And then after that, like you said, they don't even turn the TVs off the fucking football game. My daughter has found My Little Ponies.
Okay. That made it sound like they're your little ponies.
They are. She found them.
She found where I was hiding them. God damn.
She found them on YouTube, and they have a song called "Shine Like Rainbows."
Sing it for me.
No,
I'm just playing.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard. But she's obsessed with it. And so anytime we've been in the car or anything, that's the song she wants to hear. And I hate it, but she sings along with it and like really gets into it. And it's so goddamn cute to watch her be so into a song that I'll listen. I have a playlist that's 2 hours and 45 minutes of that song on repeat 65 times.
Why?
Because every time it plays, she asks me, can you rewind it, please? Can you rewind it? Can you rewind it? Can you rewind it? Can you rewind it? Like she just wants to keep hearing it.
There's got to be a shuffle type
Dude,
thing with that.
There probably is.
Got to be a repeat button or something.
I'm sure, but whatever.
Hey, you've chosen a path. This is what we're going with.
It's gotten, I think it's fried my brain. It's gotten down to where now at night, like I hear that song. If I don't have headphones in, listen to something else, that song's just etched into my brain like stone. And I just keep fucking shine like rainbows. And it's fucking awful. Awful. But the worst part about it is, I don't know how familiar you are with My Little Pony stuff.
Not that. Not that.
And bronies, are you familiar with bronies?
Yeah, so you used to do a bit about them, and then
oh, that's right, I did.
You used to talk about them on stage, and then I actually on Docu Commentary, my other podcast, we actually watched Bronies way back when and did an episode on it.
Now look, I collect action figures. This room around me is just filled with action figures. It's some of my favorite things in the world. I don't care that people are into cartoons. It's whatever. My Little Pony stuff, there's some weird, like, sex dolls that are shaped like the ponies, or, like, there's a lot of weird stuff. If you go on YouTube and you search My Little Ponies, you have to have the safe search on.
Yeah, there's a parental advisory associated with My Little Ponies. They're like, okay, don't let your kids look at My Little Ponies by themselves.
Wasn't even thinking about it. And my daughter's learned that she could press the thing on the phone on YouTube and it projects onto the Apple TV, like it'll play over the TV, and she's blown away by that. So I'll let her play with my phone and she can watch it on
by
TV,
the way.
And she thinks it's all. Oh yeah, I just stand there and stare at it. And
magic, look at it.
Like a monkey that sees a light bulb for the first time. And she's watching My Little Ponies, and she just keeps going because, like, you know, the video suggests other videos, and that's how the kids YouTube. So she just goes down, she clicks on this one that suggests, and she just keeps going. And then all of a sudden, dude, straight up 2 cartoon ponies are fucking on our 50-inch TV.
Cops knocked the door down immediately. Bruh, what the fuck is going on in here?
I freaked out. I was like, I'm signed into that YouTube account.
It's in my history. I can't scrub that.
So I yanked the phone back real quick, and
and now she knows something's wrong. Like something
and no,
happened with the
I had to
ponies.
act like mom texted me, and I was like, "Oh, your mom texted me."
Gotta take this off the screen to answer the text. Hold on.
So I just straight up deleted YouTube off my phone and put on the YouTube Kids app in case she takes my phone again. Because, bro,
Yeah, how do you explain to a 4-year-old
I
something that
don't
my
get
something that my 31-year-old mind can't process?
exactly, dude. I can't tell you what we just saw because I don't understand it either. I guess that pink pony had a throbbing pink wiener that was spraying fire. Was because when a man
When a
and
purple
woman they love
pony
each other,
loves a pink
loves
pony,
a pink pony, and then that, whoo,
and then they got enough vacation time at their job and enough money to buy an outfit, they get a hotel
then
and look over there.
I'll give you some candy if you shut the fuck up.
How about that?
The other day, dude, Henry was taking a nap on me, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I heard Zoe outside. I lean over and look. I'm like on the couch. I look over my shoulder, and dude, she's outside with her little 8-pound kettlebell doing swings. And she would do a couple, and then she would set it down, and she would grab a piece of chalk and write on the ground, just like I do.
Oh man.
And, dude, she was copying. When she would set the bell down, she would do exactly what I do. She'd put her hands on her hips and go, and then like walk in a circle, and then she'd go back and she'd go, whoo, and then she'd grab her kettlebell.
Dude, that's adorable. Kids are watching, man. They pick up on all that.
I had no idea how close she watched. It was the greatest thing ever. And when she came in, she told me, I was working out, but now I'm tired and I just really want some candy. And I was like, dude.
That's what working out is all about, baby. That is.
You earned it.
It's lifting stuff and then ruining it with candy. That's what it always is. It's iron versus candy bars forever. Forever it's a battle.
Then that's like every couple of weeks something shines through with my children where I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you are mine, because they're way too cute and sweet that I don't always just assume. But like her doing that, I was like, oh well, yeah, that's me. And today, my 2-year-old.
Yeah, you sent me this. You sent me a picture of your son just beating up inflatables in the yard.
He was so excited about the Christmas decorations that for like
he had to fight him.
Dude, it was like an hour and a half. He just had to fight him. He would just. We had this inflatable, like a big inflatable Christmas decoration, and it's the Island of Misfit Toys, and it's like the plane and the train and the abominable snowman and the little girl. From Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And he would run up and just start beating the shit out of it. And then he would go, ah, like he was scared, and he would run back to me for a minute. And then he'd turn around and he was selling his ass off. He was selling like a Dolph Ziggler, bro. And then he'd run back to me and he'd go, and he would just take off running. And dude, he would just start wailing on him. There was one point where he grabbed Wendy, the little girl doll, and he put her in an armbar. Like he had her arm, and he goes, ah, 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 and was like cranking her arm up. And I was like, dude, this went on for no joke. It was like an hour and a half where I just sat in my front yard and let my son beat the shit out of an inflatable. You could see him trying to figure out, can I pick it up and throw it? And he's like, all right, can't do that. He like circle around it. It was so great. It's screaming at the top. Like anybody in the neighborhood probably thought he was being murdered. He's just screaming at the top of his lungs. I hope your drone got that, you fucking asshole.
He comes up to you. I'm taking this to the cops. I am taking.
Get a drone photo of me being a good father, you fuck.
Nobody sees that.
Don't cover that.
The media doesn't show you that. Media doesn't show Josh Watts being a good father. They just show him being a fucking hippie in the woods.
They show me being a hippie
just
in the woods,
degenerate,
sleeping behind George W. Bush.
Dude, hold on. We haven't. Okay, let's. So Veterans Day just passed. Happy Veterans Day to you.
We've never talked about that on the show.
We did on the old show. So.
Oh fuck.
But this is definitely something that we haven't. So me and Josh have I don't know if like just weird things happen to us or we just pay attention to the things that happen and remember, or if like it's a little bit of both, if we see weird things and we make them weirder by our reaction to them and stuff. And so like how Josh was telling the story earlier of the drone guy, a lot of times you have to be like, I know this sounds fake, but I'm telling you this happened. Okay. So on our old show, Josh is telling me a story about whenever he was in the military and George Bush was giving a speech, and on national television, Josh was behind George Bush and fell asleep. Right?
This is State of the Union after 9. Like, this was a big deal. It was from Fort Bragg. It was broadcasted internationally.
And when you told me that story, I had a moment where I was like, I mean, it couldn't have went exactly like that. Like it was probably, I was like, I believe he fell asleep. I don't believe it was on national TV. Like it was, and I kind of had just like, it was the first time I really like doubted like a story you told me, but I didn't call you on it or anything like that. I just kind of was like, huh. I was like, Josh has been through some shit. Maybe he's just remembering it different, whatever. And then I don't know, maybe the next year or something like that. Somebody found the photos, or you found the photos and you sent them to me. And Josh
Somebody found the YouTube video.
And Josh, I have never doubted a single thing you've said for the rest of our friendship. Like from that moment, I have shamed myself for that. I have gone, shame on you for not believing your best friend wherever he told you that. Because
can you edit those pictures in here? Can you edit the?
I could, yeah, I'll throw them up right here so you can see. But I'll be goddamn, dude, if Josh didn't fall asleep on national television behind George Bush. Happened.
First row. Right over his fucking shoulder. First row. Bruh. We had just come back. We were here.
The fucking craziest shit.
We were coming back
That's so absurd.
To go overseas. I think we were getting ready to go. We had been in training for a long time. Then they made us go home and put on clean uniforms and then come back because George Bush is going to give a State of the Union on the base. And this is how, like, I was like, I don't want to fucking go. I said I was training. Like, I don't want to sit in an auditorium behind him forever. Nah, dude. I don't want to meet the President of the United States of America.
I got better things to do.
I need to go home and play PlayStation 2 and sleep.
All right, I'm tired.
But if you don't know, if you're unaware, when you join the military, you no longer make your own decisions. They just tell you, hey, you be here, and then you be there.
You fight for other people's freedom, but you don't get in.
Not yours.
Not yours.
So we go home. I go and get dressed. We come back to the auditorium on Fort Bragg. It's Fort Bragg in North Carolina was the home of the 82nd Airborne. And I was stationed at Pope Air Force Base, which is in the middle of Fort Bragg. It's now Pope Airfield, and it belongs to the Army. After I left, they were like, it's not even worth keeping it open, and they just gave it to the Army.
What are we even doing here anymore?
The Delta Force trains out there, and like there's a whole lot of like there's a whole lot of secret squirrel shit out there, and so there was a lot of other people, a lot of Green Berets and Red Berets and different berets in the audience, and because I was an Air Force SP, I had a Navy Blue Beret, and when we come in, the Secret Service like searched the shit out of us. I mean, that dude was digging in my asshole with a headlamp. And like,
there's no telling what you got up there, bro.
You're on a military base. What do you think is going to happen? All right. But so.
All right, get in there.
It's hours of getting screened and cleared and sitting on this chair. And it's a hot auditorium that might have been air conditioned, but wasn't on a lot. And it was tons of people. And we were in heavy starched uniforms. So you're just fucking hot. And you got to sit there. So it's already hard to stay awake. And then fucking George Bush walks out and he shakes every single person's hand. Like he was super nice in person. Politically, I understand he's a monster probably, but like when he talked to you, he really was really focused on talking to you, and he seemed like he genuinely appreciated. It was a nice experience. He shook my hand. Like he's like, I know. Thank you for your service. Airman Watts, what's your name? And I said Airman Watts, and he goes, no, what's your name? And I said, oh, it's Josh. And he said, thank you for your service. And he looked me right in my eyes. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you that the iris of his eyes were red, white, and blue. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And he said, I know that being the patriot and the hero you are, that you'll be safe to be sitting right over my shoulder in the front row the whole time I'm giving this speech on international TV. You should tell your mom and have your mom tell all of her church friends to watch because you will not disrespect me at all. And we know that. So I'm going to put you front.
I know that about you. I can feel it. I can feel the type of person you are.
So he shakes our hand, then he goes to the back and they set us down. And it's like another hour and a half where I just get sleepier and sleepier and sleepier. And I'm not shitting you, dude. I had called my parents. My parents had told everybody at church. The only thing I've ever done that my parents were proud about besides my children was that I signed up for the military because I didn't have any job options at 18.
Very proud of you,
I wanted
Josh.
to go to college. Thanks. So they told everybody, and like all of our church friends are watching, all of my mom's friends from the Curves gym that she works at, they were all watching it because my mom's a fucking plate lifting beast too. Boom, runs in the family, bro.
That's right.
She throws fucking plates at Curves. Go out there. Anyway,
she
told
chalk.
everybody, she said, hey, come look at my son, my national hero son on TV. He's going to be right there. And I didn't even know that I was going to be right behind him. I'm just going to be on the stage. So like, look for me. You might see me. And
no,
it was
right,
2000 and...
right over his shoulder. You are right over George Bush's shoulder.
It was 2001 or 2. I didn't have a cell phone until like 2006. So I couldn't text her or anything to tell her, oh, I'm fucking right behind the president of the United States of America.
Look at your baby boy, mama.
And he comes out, or the cameras start rolling. They do a big, the Star Spangled Banner, and he walks out and he shakes people's hand as he walks out. And as he walks out, he only shakes a couple people's hands, and I'm one of them. He shakes my hand again just to reestablish that he knows he can depend on me.
My guy right here, Josh Watts.
All of my bosses, my supervisors, if you watch that video, I'm the only Air Force dude anywhere in that shot. And I can see all my bosses and stuff over to the side, and they're waving at me and thumbs up, but I can tell the thumbs up is also saying, why the fuck did they pick him to be?
Why you?
And bro, sure as shit, I'm sitting next to a Green Beret, and I kept telling him earlier in the day, I'm like, hey dude, don't let me, you see me, nudge me falling asleep or something. And I think he got annoyed with me because he just, I guess he stopped. Because we
like,
stood
why
up,
you?
Bush came out, started talking. We sat down, and bruh, I started doing and if you watch the video, I go like straight out. I just end up leaning back and slouching down. And there is a perfect picture of me over George Bush's shoulder, eyes closed, head back, out. And then if you see the video, I get nudged and jerk awake, which just draws more attention to me sleeping behind the president after the world's biggest terrorist attack. But it wasn't because I was being disrespectful to our nation. It's because I've been training to defend it.
I was so
and
tired.
It was hot. And it was hot. And I was tired. And I didn't want to be there. And he was talking a lot. And I didn't give a fuck about hearing it. All I knew was I was going to have to be in another country for a long time. So I didn't give a fuck about what all kind of... Don't justify it. Just send me, I guess. Fuck.
Well, fuck.
So nobody ever believes that story. Like, I've told that story 100 times, and I always get the, like, they doubt me.
It was, like, my thing was, like, I believed it. I was like, I don't know if it went that exact way. I was like, I felt like, I was like, maybe he's, like, confusing a couple things that happened or what. Like, that was, like, my thought.
I don't have a great memory, but I remember that one very, very clearly.
Yeah, I can imagine you would.
If you're listening, though,
yeah,
front row, right? Like, I was hard camera the whole time it's showing the president's face. I am in the shot the whole fucking speech. And the guy, one of my friends, Alex, told me, he said, I showed him the video. It came around, I found it. Somebody sent it to me around the time that he was coming by for a visit, and I showed it to him. And no shit, he goes, bruh, when I lived in Florida, this happened, and we made fun of the guy who fell asleep behind the president. And like, he texted his friend right there and was like, hey, do you remember that guy that was asleep behind Bush on the, and his friend like, fuck yeah, I remember. And a friend that I met that moved from Florida here knew about the guy who fell asleep behind George Bush at the State of the Union, and it was fucking me.
You goddamn right.
I'm so happy that I found that on YouTube or whoever. I don't remember who sent it to me, but I'm so happy they did, because I don't think anybody believed that story until I started posting on Facebook every chance I get.
It's so great. It's my favorite Veterans Day tradition is you reposting those pictures of here's the time I fell asleep behind the president. Perfect.
Thank me for my service.
So perfect. All right, brother. Let's get out of here, man.
All right, man.
Dude, thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure you go to bucketsofduckets.com.
Hey, so I just want to take a second. We've gotten a lot of, like, here recently. We've had our show's been kind of growing. Our numbers have been growing a lot. Thank you. That means you're sharing, you're telling people you liking what we're doing, and we appreciate it a lot. It's really cool to know that something we're creating is being enjoyed by people. So thanks for listening. Thanks for telling people about us and sending them to the best podcast in the world. We appreciate it.
Yep. Well said. Thanks, guys.
Peace out, you punk bitches.
Bye.